Ken, in all this time that we've had off, have you been producing your Arsenal Fan TV tape?
No, not really. But I have actually been making some connections into I Hate Liverpool fan club, and we're building a very big community, and it's a very strong community, and the community all says Liverpool should never win the Premier League title. So I think that's our first. We're going to start a GoFundMe page to make sure that it happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. I mean...
Okay, the King of Hearts. I will donate that to your... I will donate to your foundation, the King of Hearts. Thank you.
100. Go on, do that.
Who reaches out for everybody, who cares about everybody.
Ken, I was with you on the last show.
But Liverpool fans are trash. King of Hearts.
Pretty much, yeah. There you go. At least we're all on the same page. Right, cool.
Right.
Go on. Let's do this.
This is the Beats and Balls. Beats and Balls. This is the Beats and Balls show.
Ballers assemble. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the lockdown edition of the Beats and Balls show. We may be in isolation, but we're still the alternative sports podcast that gets behind the culture of the sports that we are passionate about. I am JR the Beatmaker, and by the magic of technology, I'm joined by my co-host, that guy Ken, the show's producer, Mr. Crisp, and our very special guest for today, Mr. Amar Singh, the head of football content and strategy at Budweiser. But more on that in just a moment. How are we doing, boys? We all right?
Yeah, surviving.
Yeah?
I feel like a convict, but I'm okay.
A convict. You're locked into your four walls.
Exactly. Like Akon said, I'm locked up, you let me out.
When was the last time you left your house? Have you been doing your daily walks and stuff?
No, last time I left my house was Thursday, to be honest. Yeah, I didn't leave yesterday. I went out for...
Saturday, innit?
Went out for a quick drive on Thursday. Mm-hmm. Before that, I normally do about 20 to 30 minutes of skipping outside as a warm-up. I don't like running. I'm not a big runner, so I just like doing my skips, and then I do like a few short sprint bursts across my parking area, and then I come in and do my home exercise. So I'm still working on the muscles, you know.
Still shredded. What about you, Carl? How you doing?
I've become a teacher, so I'm teaching. I have the kids at home, so I'm teaching.
Have you been sent all that material from the school that you need to?
Yeah, I've done that, and but
have you been struggling with it more than they have?
No, it's easy. But I mean, the good thing about lockdown, I've been doing, because there's been 2 weeks of they've been on Easter holiday. Mm-hmm. But I'm not. Kids will just play video games if you let them all day.
Yep.
All day. So I'm like, if you're playing 2 hours of video games, I want 2 hours back or study, as far as I'm concerned.
Fair play.
So I get that.
Earn your game time. Fair enough.
Yeah. And I've been listening to lots of albums in full length. Do you remember albums?
Well,
listen from beginning to end.
I'm exclusively an album man, so yeah. But you know what? I actually haven't even been listening to that much music recently, because I always listen to music on the move. I ain't been moving. So it's like, although I've got all this time, it's just like, as you can see my bed just there, like I'm just going to lay there and just sit there for an hour and listen to an album. I can't do that, man. I can't do that. I need to.
Seriously?
Yeah, man. I need to. And if it's like a first listen, if it's a new album, I'll just sit down and I'll absorb it maybe once or twice.
No, but, you should go back to albums. Like an album I can highly recommend. It will give you all your emotions will go through this album. Is Fleetwood Mac's Rumours. All your emotions will just go through that album.
That is a classic. That's like a proper driving album. Yeah, man.
I have that playing around the house, and your ups, your downs, your moods are all in the album.
Yeah.
Or D'Angelo's Voodoo. Because that sounds like when you first hear it, it sounds like a demo, but nah, it's just classic album.
Yeah, nice, man. Nice.
You know, the thing I always say to people, like, listen to music first thing in the morning, and that kind of determines your day. Because if you wake up in the morning and no matter how you kind of feel, if you have some kind of music that's going to uplift you, even if it's trash metal, I don't know if you like acid rock. I don't know what it is. Yeah, that kind of that motion of listening to music gets you in the right kind of mood, and then you'll go and do something. Because not listening to music, you end up lying in your bed looking at the ceiling and thinking about what hasn't happened and what you still need to happen and what all that. And that's not the best way to wake up. So like I said, I mean, I think I was trying to say to you earlier, I was having some days of anxiety, and I think I started realizing those are the things that I need to do. Certain habits you need to stick to, especially now.
Yeah,
and
give you some
good ones
structure,
like music, 100%. That's going to get you in the right frame of mind, because cold showers are not the one, but
but you said how much you love them, though.
yeah, when you're having an anxiety attack, yeah, but like just on a normal day, listen to music. When you're having something crazy going on in your head, have a cold shower. That's my.
So, as if you people needed reminding, the world is on lockdown right now, and obviously a lot of our content is based around sport. So you've probably also noticed that a lot of the sports producers on the internet are struggling quite a lot. So we were kind of thinking, how are we going to put a show together? What are we going to talk about? And then Mr. Chris pulled an absolute blinder, didn't he? He went and got a sports marketing insider and journalist that's going to talk us through what the kind of things that people are doing when they really depend on sport. And now, so we're talking about the sports marketers. Amar Singh is the head of football content and strategy for Budweiser, the official global partner of the Premier League and the Liga. Amar leads the global digital strategy for activating these partnerships, working with more than 22 countries across the globe, including the UK, China, Russia, India, Brazil, and Nigeria, just to name a few. For more than 10 years, Amar has specialized in managing cross-platform content teams in sports across a range of media and sports outlets, including West Ham United, London Evening Standard, Goal, and Squawka. Amar will now tell us what is behind the editorial motivation for journalists across publishing platforms right now. They can give us some insight into how sports marketing works when there is no sport to market. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Mr. Amar Singh. How you doing, Amar?
Thanks for having me, Ryan. It's good to be here.
You good?
Good to be here. Good to listen to your routines and you know, I love a bit of Fleetwood Mac and Rumours myself as well. So.
Yeah, man. So how have you been spending your time? Like, on a personal note, like, how are you coping with the lockdown?
Well, my days are quite structured, and and we'll go into it, but I do have quite a bit of work on still, so that's good. Although everything's, you know, changed. And we've got I've got my two boys at home, my two kids. They're 11 and 4, so they kind of lurch between being the best of friends to trying to kill each other 3 or 4 times a day. So just them, yeah. I'm very fortunate that my wife, she works from home anyway, so she has a good routine in terms of getting some of her freelance work done at home and looking after the kids and helping out with the homeschooling elements. So that's been good. I'm there when they want to play FIFA and stuff like that. So
How's that going?
I've reached that point now where my son is better than me, and not only is he better than me, he will often play against me and pretend and actually let me beat him sometimes, so that we can go to a decider, so he can play me more. So that's the level of humiliation that I'm at now with FIFA.
You know what? When you tuck them into bed, you need to get gaming, man. Get your skills up.
That's it.
I went through, I think the last FIFA I bought was FIFA 18. And I haven't touched it since then. And I was the other day, I was like, I need to just try it. I need to just try and play it again. And I was so bad. It's like, what is going on?
I love it. And it does fill a void with football not being on at the moment. I think gaming has taken on a whole new level of importance, not just from a brand point of view and a marketer's point of view, but actually just for people, being able to put on your TV and see your favourite players and play, and, you know, FIFA and Football Manager and all these games are actually a bit of a lifeline, I think, for football fans at the moment. Yeah,
just that feeling of seeing the ball cross the line, that's all we want. We need something to keep us going, man. So before we get started properly, Amar, would you mind helping us out a little bit? Because we normally kick off the show with the socials, what we've seen on social media since the last time we were in the studio. But obviously now we know what everyone's been seeing the same stuff, and they're all over Twitter and WhatsApp and Instagram. It's all COVID-19 memes. So we thought that we would pick out a few that kind of made us chuckle, because, you know, it's a very serious situation and we just want to lighten the mood a little bit. So would you mind giving us a hand with that, Amar?
Sure.
Cool.
Happy to.
Cool. So, who wants to kick us off? Because I've got a few.
I'll kick off. I mean, I think mine is to I have quite a few WhatsApp groups, and I think the idea of WhatsApp, you send the right message to the right group. But with COVID-19, everyone's kind of firing things off into different groups. So I have like a business networking group, and then there's Bible verses being forwarded into that group. There's conspiracy theories, then there's anti-government things, and sometimes you just send the right thing into the right group.
It's just like, I've seen it online, I'm just going to send it, make sure everyone sees it. But
I think the thing that's kept me chuckled with is the funny things, and I think this funny clip I've seen kind of summarizes how people are kind of, everything's getting cross-wired from the biblical verses, the Armageddon kind of doomsday stuff, all that stuff's getting fired around. And I saw this meme where this guy, he's calling the woman, and he's trying to get a booty call.
Okay.
And he calls her, and I think the woman he's calling is called Susan. And he calls Susan. Susan picks up the phone. She's sleeping. She might have been at work, but she's sleeping. And the guy's...
Hello, Susan. I miss you. I can't sleep.
Who this?
You mean if you tell me say you don't know my voice, you don't recognize my voice?
Brian?
Yeah, Susan. I can't sleep. I miss you.
You can't sleep?
No, I can't sleep. No matter what I do, no matter what I try. I miss you.
You have a Bible next to you?
No, I go for it.
Yeah, go for your Bible.
Yeah, I have it. What you say now?
Go to Isaiah 48 verse 22.
Alright, I find it.
Read it out loud for me, please and thanks.
There is no sleep for the wicked. Wait, hold on.
Okay, have a good
Rest
night.
of the
Susan.
There's no rest of the wicked. And eventually she just hangs up the phone. 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 Eventually, she just hangs up the phone. Eventually, she just hangs up the phone. Eventually, she just hangs up the phone. Eventually.